today the solemnity of the heart of Jesus, we reach our goal, And of course, today I cannot talk nothing but about the devotion of the heart of Jesus in Saint Hannibal. Saint Hannibal, Mary di Francia, is this priest who is the founder of two religious congregations, the congregation of the Rogationist Fathers of the Heart of Jesus, and the daughter of Divine Zeal. He presented to the Vatican at that time, he presented the daughter as a name for the congregation, the daughter of Divine Zeal of the Heart of Jesus. But they said, when you say the Divine Zeal, is already belonging to the Heart of Jesus, so you don't need to put the Heart of Jesus. So for that congregation, the name is not having the Heart of Jesus, but it's as if it has. Which means that in the charism of Saint Hannibal, which is the charism of Rogate, you know that Rogate comes from Latin, which means pray, just pray, because in Matthew 9:35 and Luke 10:2, it's reported that Jesus says, "Pray the Lord of the harvest to send workers into his harvest." And this is something that comes from the compassion of Jesus, because he was looking at the crowds and he saw them like sheep without a shepherd. So he felt sorry for them. And out of this, he said, pray. So this charism comes out from the heart of Jesus, just like, in the cross, in the pierced heart of Jesus, like a river, you have blood and water coming out, For Saint Hannibal says, in that blood and water, you have all the charism. So also Rogate is there. But first of all, I want to present to you who Father Hannibal was. I say Father Hannibal because everybody called him the Father. The Father. So we call him Saint Hannibal now, since 2004, May 16, when he was canonized by John Paul II. But he was always addressed to Father, the Father. And, it's as if I knew him because, even though he died in 1927, of course, but he was very close to my town. He lived in Messina, in Sicily, in Italy. Messina is my hometown, but I live in a town in the province of Messina, a small town in the mountains. And Father Hannibal used to go there for summertime because it was cooler and he had time to pray and to write. In fact, the main rule of the congregation of Rogationists, which is the 40 declarations, which are 40 rules, he wrote there in this little town, which is San Pierniceto, is my hometown where my parents live. And I have an episode that I want to tell you in order to understand better who he was and how he was always thinking about the heart of Jesus. So it was the day of the first communions. So imagine May, June, And my grandmother, she was there. She was a little girl of probably 8 or 9 years old. But you know that at that time, before 1920 probably. At that time, there was the old rite, So several things that now are allowed before were forbidden. Like, for example, you couldn't receive communion twice in a day. Today you can, provided you attend 2 full masses. But at that time you couldn't. So my grandma, her name was Pietruzza, little Peter, she was a girl. Pietruzza, she received communion that day, early in the morning, the first mass. So she attended mass, she received communion. You know how they received communion, there was not people in line. They went next to the altar. There was this long kneeler, all around the altar, in marble usually. So people kneeled there, and the priest went around to give communion to everybody. So at the beginning, she received communion, and the priest gave her for the first time. And everybody was happy with that. But what happened is that later there was another mass, which Father Hannibal presided. But there was the kind of mass where the priest is, facing the altar, the fixed altar, not the altar that we have today, but the altar at the back. And so what happened is that my little grandma, Pietruzza, she went there and she kneeled to receive communion at the moment of communion again, because she didn't realize that you can't receive twice. So she went and she received, and Father Hannibal gave her communion. When this happened, the sisters, the nuns, who are still there, because the church, that church in my hometown is a church where the daughters of Divine Zeal are. And so the nuns realized that their little daughter received communion twice. Oh my God. So they started scolding her. And they started scolding her, and they brought her in the sacristy where Father Hannibal was. So they reported the little daughter, the little child, to Father Hannibal. And they expected him to scold her more. But when they said to Father Hannibal, this little girl, she received communion again. In a time where everything was forbidden. We are in 1920, okay? So it was totally another world. When they said that to Father Hannibal, my grandma, she was in front of him, and she didn't know what to expect from him. But he went there and he told her, you see, the heart of Jesus wanted to stay in your heart twice today. So this is Father Hannibal. Besides all the rules, besides all the nuns who expected everything, so he was only concentrated in this. Communion is the heart of Jesus that wants to get in your heart. There is a spatial connection with what we are saying with the Gospel of John, of course, the Gospel of John. The one who wanted to put his head on the chest of Jesus, just like Saint Margaret, She was there in front of Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament, and she wanted to put her head on the chest of Jesus. So John was there under the cross. So John 19, verse 33, we talk about the pierced heart. Okay? That chapter says this. So John 19, verse 33 and 34. But when they came to Jesus and saw that he was already dead, they did not break his legs. But one soldier thrust his lance into his side, and immediately blood and water flowed out. So you will never break a bone of Jesus. Whatever you do, whatever sin you do, you will never break a bone. You will not really hurt his body, The only thing that you can do, you can hurt his heart. Yes, that you can do. You can pierce his heart with the lance of your sin, with the lance of your selfishness, with the lance of our indifference. This is what you can do. Yes. It doesn't matter for Jesus, all the whips that he received, all his body wounded. Doesn't matter for him. What matters, what is heavy for him, is the indifference of those who are not considering the love of such a heart. So Father Hannibal, he lived this so much that he even cried all the time that he had he had the opportunity to meditate about not the passion, so what he suffered only in his body, but Father Hannibal used to call that the intimate pain of Jesus, of his heart. One day they say that he was preaching, and when he reached that point in considering that, he fainted. He fainted. They had to give him water. And also he said that he had the gift of the tears. The gift of the tears. When he meditated on the pains of the heart of Jesus, he cried. Well, I think this is the aim of our retreat. And maybe we didn't reach that. Maybe we were not able to reach that. We just tried, not only to put together some information, but more. To put together the experience of those who cried. And if we succeed in this, if you succeed in staying in front of the Blessed Sacrament exposed, right? And to see, that heart that is suffering because he's loving you so much and he doesn't reach you. He cannot reach you no matter what he does, not even miracles. If we succeed in being aware of it, at that point, yes, I guess that this retreat reached something. The result was great. We said, the saints, when they entered in that heart, they discovered marvelous things. What are these marvelous things? Well, Saint Hannibal, Father Hannibal, he discovered the compassion. His compassion. Compassion, it comes from Greek, right? Compassion, which means suffer together. from Pasco. Pasco is the Greek verb that means to suffer, to feel, to start to feel bad, to suffer. So compassion is to suffer together. So Father Hannibal was able to look at Jesus and to discover that compassion. The compassion of Jesus for those who have nobody. And Father Hannibal shared that because he also, when he saw somebody that he had nobody, so he felt sorry. And he wanted to stay with them, but to really stay with them. You imagine that just ordained a priest, he went to the bishop. What I meant, he went to the bishop and he asked, can I leave my apartment? Because I want to rent a room in the quarter of the poor. Can I do that? And he was lucky that he found a bishop that he allowed him. And he went. He went because he was compassionate just like Jesus is compassionate. So he started living there with the poor. And he not only, he took care of them, in a material way, giving food and dressing and everything. But he also was there to teach them, to evangelize them, to teach the things of God. And he started 2 years of preparation. So we are in 1884 when he started the preparation for the arrival of the Blessed Sacrament, in that place. Because he wanted the heart of Jesus to be present there. Because sometimes, we have the idea that we do a lot of things, that we work for this, we work for that, but we don't really build for the kingdom of God. But when you spend your time in front of the Blessed Sacrament, when you spend your time in front of that heart, you never waste your time. That is something that makes you feel that you really did something worth it. So 2 years of preparation. And in 1888, July the 1st, he brought the Blessed Sacrament there in that place where poor people, forgotten, forsaken by everybody, were. And, since then, every July the 1st is a solemn day for the Rogationists. We have several hours of adoration, that day. Because it's the day that the heart of Jesus was able to go in the place where the poor are. So, the aim of Father Hannibal was exactly this. I went to serve the poor. I'm feeding them. I'm helping them in many ways. But how about the rest of the world? How about all the poor people that are in Africa and India? Even though I will start a congregation, and he did. He started 2 congregations. But even though I did that, how many people I can gather together? And how many poor people are we going to help? Very few. So what are these few people that we can help in comparison with all those people who need help? So that's why he started thinking about the Rogate, because the Rogate was the answer to it. So I can't help, so I cannot do anything to helping everybody, those big numbers, of poor people, but I can pray. So Jesus will send those who will take care. So I cannot go, but I can pray so that Jesus, out of his compassionate heart, send those who go. And he said, we should pray not only for vocations, but we should pray for holy vocations. And he used to do this prayer: not many holy vocations. I want only one. Only one. Only one holy vocation. Now you imagine, you imagine a holy man like Padre Pio, If we had Padre Pio here in Los Angeles, what would happen? That everybody will go there, Well, there will be a church with lines outside for taking communion from the hands of Padre Pio, right? So you see, one holy vocation can be more than enough. Many vocations not holy are never enough. So Rogate is a secret. It's the secret of the secrets. So how can I take care of everybody? Because the needs of the world are too many. So how can I reach everybody? How can I reach everybody? You reach it through prayer. Above all, the prayer in front of the Blessed Sacrament. But that should be a prayer with all your heart to the heart of Jesus. There is another episode. This happened in 1911. And this is Father Teodoro, who says that, in one of his books that he wrote about Father Hannibal. He was still a kid. So he said that he was together with other 8 boys, and he was going with Father Hannibal to one of the institutes where they were about to start. They were seminarians, very young. So they took a train because they went from Sicily to Puglia, another area. So imagine from the island in the south of Italy to the hill, that is the region of Puglia. And there are several houses of the congregation of Rogationists. So they were together in the train with Father Hannibal. They were in the train, and Father Teodoro remembers Father Hannibal asked me a question. And the question was, how much do you love Jesus? What a question. So, how much do I love Jesus? Okay, so Father Teodoro was a kid. He stammered, I love him as much as I can. But Father Hannibal insisted, but how much do you want to love him? So I know how you love him now, how much you love him, but how much you want to love him. So Father Teodoro doesn't remember what he replied. But he remembers what after asking everybody, to all the boys there, Father Hannibal suggested this answer. He said, I want to love Jesus as much as love him the angels, as much love him all the saints of heaven, all the righteous of the earth, with the love with which the most holy Virgin Mary and finally with love of God the Father. And he explained, of course, Father Hannibal said, of course it is not possible. Not possible to go that far, right? But what does it matter, he said. Jesus welcomes holy desires. He is pleased with them and increases in the soul the flames of his love. Well, if you read the writings of Father Hannibal and all that, all the episodes, they are all like this. He was always full of this heart, of this love for the heart of Jesus. He had a heart full of love for the heart of Jesus. This is who he was. He was only compassion. And he said the real founder of the congregation is Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament. I'm not the founder. Everybody called him the founder. But he said, I'm not the founder. Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament inspired it all. And that's true. In the collect is the first prayer at the starting of the Mass. At the starting of every Mass, you have what we call the entrance not the entrance antiphon. There is the collect. So I refer not to the collect, but to the entrance antiphon. The collect is also very important today, but I'm referring to the entrance antiphon actually. And it says that the heart of Jesus has plans. The heart of Jesus has mysterious plans. It's full of plans. Well, just like every heart. Even you, in your heart, you have your plans. If you look inside of your heart, you have your dreams. So if you dream, the heart of Jesus dreams. Have you ever thought of it? That the heart of Jesus dreams. He dreams about you. He dreams about what you could do, which is beyond what you can believe. What Jesus dreams about you is unbelievable even for you, even for yourself. He has dreams, and those dreams continues the entrance antiphon of today, of the liturgy of today. Those dreams wants to take you out of death. Of death. Don't think about death like death. We don't need to die in order to be dead. Yes, we don't need to die in order to be dead. Because the devil, that's what he wants for you. He wants you to be dead ahead of time. Yes. When you will give up. When you will stop dreaming. When you will say this, no, I cannot do that. Or that, I cannot do it anymore. Help that man, I don't want to help him, he disappointed me. I had this inspiration, because sometimes that happens, that you are in front of the Blessed Sacrament, you receive an inspiration, and you know that that is something that Jesus, the heart of Jesus, is inspiring you, and what you do, you forget. I know it, because I do it. We forget. We forget so many inspirations. That's why it's always good to have a little booklet, a spiritual booklet, where to write everything, because we forget the dreams that the heart of Jesus communicates us. So he has dreams, and those dreams are to take us out of death. Yes, because if we realize those dreams, we will be more than alive. You will realize things unbelievable, and you will look back and you will say, how come I did this? I never thought I could do that. It will happen to you. In folly, you will let the dreams of the heart of Jesus to take you out from death in a world of hunger. This is the entrance antiphon of today. A world of hunger, yes. A world of hunger and thirst. Because this world is hungry. This world is thirsty. And we are the ones, we are the workers that Father Hannibal is talking about. We are those who are supposed to feed. We are those who are supposed to give something to drink, but no food, no water, much more. We are meant to give, first of all, sense, to help people to make sense of their life. Because if you find that, the most simple thing that may happen to you, if you find the sense of your life, you will be happy. How many of us are happy, really happy? How many? If you are not, it's because you didn't find that precious stone. Maybe you found, then you lost. Maybe you have it in your hands, you know what it is, but you're not really using it. You're not dedicating enough time. So, we are those workers. In fact, Father Hannibal, he didn't pray the Rogate in order only to say, send someone else. Yes, I know the harvest is abundant, but send someone else. No. When he said that prayer, he addressed that prayer to the heart of Jesus by saying, send one holy vocation, send one holy worker. He was ready to do it. He was ready to sacrifice himself in order for this vocation to be sent, this holy vocation to be sent. He was offering his life. And the heart of Jesus sent him. So when we pray for vocations, you will be automatically sent. You will be sent automatically by the heart of Jesus. Okay, so I think I said enough, but I only want to add one thing. Tomorrow, we will have our Mass as the conclusion, of our retreat, a long retreat. 10 meetings. I will celebrate a Mass and live streaming with Zoom, same way, from the chapel here in St. James Francis de Chantal in North Ireland. That chapel used to be a chapel of perpetual adoration. Well, it was open for the adoration of everybody. My wish is that you pray for it, because I see it as a dream of the heart of Jesus, that chapel may become a chapel of perpetual adoration. But if we don't pray, it will not happen. It will never happen. Because the heart of Jesus, he cannot work miracles like this. He works miracles only if you pray for them. So that is the dream that I'm passing you on, so that you pass on to other people. And if you are around here, start talking about it. If this is something that is possible. And this will be really a great consolation of the heart of Jesus.